Good morning, America and the rest of the world. Xander J. Hobson here, and this is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Let's get out the Rudy Giuliani prosecutorial glasses. We got a lot of stuff we got to cover today, so I think we should get it cracking. But before we go any farther, folks, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video, hate this video, share this video. Leave a remark in the comment section, even if it's something like, hey man, go to hell. You know, since I done that Kevin Samuel video, I got some guy named Wile E. Coyote trolling me. So I'm just serving you notice, Wile E. Coyote. I seen you. You talking real slick, sir. But just remember this, sir. You gotta bring ass to get ass. You know, Xander Hobson ain't looking for no trouble, but he ain't running from it. Not a tough guy, sir, but I'll do till a tough guy shows up. And I was looking at Black YouTube once again, and again, I'm always stumbling on the cats. Bumped into a dude called the Poor Black Man, and man, I like this dude, man. Seems to be a younger guy. And I know he's younger than me. And me and the Poor Black Man, we got a lot of things in common. You know, number one, the Poor Black Man likes older women. And for that reason, the Poor Black Man and I, we see eye to eye on that. Another thing the me and the Poor Black Man agree on, we don't like them little skinny chicks that Kevin Samuels like. And this is not a shot at Kevin Samuels. That just goes to show you that it takes all kinds to make the world go around, you know, to each his own, you know. So anyway, I was looking at the Poor Black Man's broadcast, and I saw where our Kevin Samuels had a $1,500 prostitute, to be totally frank, a whore, you know. And personally, I wasn't bothered by this. You know, because I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm quite fond of whores. You know, they have a special place in a man's life if you know how to utilize them well, you know. But what transpired was Kev was on the Fresh and Fit show, and what he was trying to do, he was trying to sell those who subscribe to his ideology on you know, taking a whore to an office party. You know, now listen, Kev, this is one of them times where I gotta come at you next, sir. No one likes a good whore as much as me. You know, I think whores rate right up there with the dentist, the barber, and the masseuse. Whores are great, sir. You know, but we don't take whores to office parties, Kevin. You know, that's just not what we do. But again, Kevin, I mean, if that's what you want to do, you know, if you convince yourself, sir, that it was okay to show up at an office party with a whore that your boss knew, you know, because I understand, Kev, I watched it, and you was talking about how you got next to your boss, and your boss was quite fond of you, and, you know, he was enamored by the fact that you passed this rigid background check that the whore performed, sir. You know, and again, Kev, I'm not knocking you, because see, I understand where you're coming from, Kev, because the one thing I realized since I've been watching your videos, Kev, you are a corporate guy, and you take a corporate approach to everything you do. And the explanation that you gave for taking a whore, a high-class whore at that, sir, a $1,500 high-class whore, the explanation that you gave, sir, it was sound. You said the whore helped you work the room, and she shook hands, and she handed out business cards. Basically, sir, you put that young lady to work. Well, Kev, you should have put her to work for $1,500, sir. You should have had her shining your shoes, washing your car, ironing your clothes. You should have. You should have got more than some pussy out of the deal, sir. if you're going to give a whore $1,500, sir. But again, I'm not knocking you, sir. Not for bringing a whore to the office party, or not for even being with a whore, sir. But I am just pointing out, sir, that you brought a whore to the Christmas party. A whore that your boss knew, Kevin. And I understand there was no emotional attachment to you and this woman, Kevin. I get that. And I'm not even saying or alluding to that you had feelings for this woman, sir. But what I'm saying is, Kevin, is nothing cool about someone walking up to you in a room full of people and knowing your woman in a familiar way, sir. You should have been embarrassed. But you was pimping out, I guess. But you wasn't even pimping, Kev, because you was spending money, you know? And again, please don't take my aggressive and hostile tone as animosity or contempt, because it's not, sir. You, Kevin Samuel, sir, you are a brand. And the only way I get recognition is to talk about you, sir. So this is why I'm talking about you and the whore that you paid $1,500 for, that you took to the Christmas office party, and your boss recognized her, sir. Now, Kevin, let me tell you something. I was thinking about this podcast this morning, and it hit me why I'm so fond of you, sir. You remind me of a friend of mine by the name of Otis Wilson. I'm sure if you ever met Otis Wilson, you and him would hit it off fine. I mean, Otis is a great guy, great friend of mine. In fact, Otis was a mentor of mine. Otis was Mr. Corporate America. And to be totally honest with you, Otis played a profound part in my Air Force career, sir. And I said that to say this. He was much like yourself, Kevin. The man was corporate, and he tried to, he wanted to, he had aspirations of pulling me along with him, Kevin. And I understand, because I've seen your other podcasts, Kevin, when you were talking about what one needs to do to make it in corporate America. And Kevin, I'm not going to lie to you, I was quite appalled at some of the solutions that you suggested. Shaving your mustache, perhaps talking a little bit more with a European voice. You said a bunch of things that were quite abominable, Kevin. But again, I'm not frowning on these things, Kevin, because that's how you and guys like Otis choose to make a living. But you have to understand that only certain people have a corporate mindset, sir. And one of the reasons why you were getting such kickback when you were talking, you were giving your spill on how to get into corporate America is because of this. When it comes to the black race, we are divided into field niggas and house niggas. Despite how ugly it may sound, that is the reality of black America. Field niggas and house niggas. And when you were suggesting that guys tailor their personality to fit corporate America, well, if you was talking to a guy with a field nigga mentality, that is why you was getting the kickback. Versus if you was talking to a guy with a house nigga mentality, they were able to see where you were coming from. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you, Kevin. If I had to pick a side and both sides are ugly, I'm a field nigga, you know? And again, it is what it is. We don't have a say in our history. We just got to play the cards that we were dealt and do our best to be a credit to our race and set a good example. Returning to the subject of corporate America, I bumped into another guy who I ran into on YouTube, a fella by the name of Grandmaster Troll. And this Grandmaster Troll fella is hilarious, which brings me to the topic of Kevin being a corporate guy. Kevin, you went in there and you staged a coup in a Manosphere. And all the information I got comes from Grandmaster Troll. I don't know if any of this stuff is even true or not. I'm just repeating it. But you staged a coup, sir. And you ousted the primary guy in the Manosphere, a guy by the name of Angry Man, and seated O'Shea Duke Jackson in the seat of power. But oddly enough, O'Shea might be in charge, but Kevin Samuels is making all the money. And the only thing I can say is, O'Shea, you better watch your ass. Because one of the things about being a corporate guy, about espousing the type of lifestyle that our man Kevin Samuels espouses, that my friend Otis Wilson espouses, you got to give a piece of your soul, man. You have to give a piece of your soul. And again, a lot of times people always equate selling your soul with something demonic. A lot of times selling your soul might be as something as small as firing your friend from a job, stabbing someone in the back, etc., etc., etc. The process of selling your soul, it doesn't always have to be related to something demonic. I want to tell a brief story before I get out of here. I was getting ready to put on E7 or Master Sergeant in the Air Force, and I had a heated exchange with my section superintendent, a fellow by the name of Doug Wyman. And Doug Wyman yelled at me in a room full of people. Well, I didn't put my hands on this man or anything like that, but believe me, Xander Hobson is real sharp at handling himself under pressure and verbally. And I said all of that to say this: if I would have kept my mouth shut, I probably would have ended up retiring from the Air Force as a E8 or a senior master sergeant. But I end up medically retiring as an E6, and life is good. But my point is, at that moment when that man yelled at me, I had to choose. I had to choose between my sanity and my peace of mind, or I had to choose between my Air Force career. I chose my sanity and peace of mind and being able to sleep at night. Which brings me back to this initial discussion. Kevin Samuels, you're a corporate guy, and you showed up at the Christmas party, or whatever party it was. I don't know if it was Christmas or not, with a goddamn whore. And again, Kevin, there's nothing wrong with what you did. I'm not condemning you for it. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times when we take this corporate approach to some of the things that we do, oftentimes our soul is on the line when we do some of the things that we do. And again, if you can live with what you've done, that's cool. Quick footnote, and I'm out of here. My buddy Otis, he ended up retiring from the Air Force as a lieutenant colonel. I ended up retiring from the Air Force medically as a tech sergeant. I can sleep at night. I'm done with it. Bam.